is Shari Rodgers, and I have the pleasure of being here with Nicole Brantley. And thank you so much for being here and sharing knowledge with us right now.
Yes, you're welcome.
And so I would like to start with a little bit about you. Can you share with us a little bit about you and your perspective on women's health?
Absolutely. So my name is Nicole Brantley. I'm affectionately known as the Womb Therapist. The name of my company is F.R.E.S.H. It stands for Feminine Restoration, Education, and Solutions for Women's Health. So my company was founded out of the need to address the women that were sitting by in silence. Suffering, if you will, and nobody doing anything about it. And so that's how my business came about. So I help women who have fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, those who have trouble conceiving, HPV, chronic bacterial and fungal infections, and the list goes on and on and on. And I do that through my method of vaginal steaming mostly, but I also do it through my detox programs, both individual and group, where we address both emotional baggage and what your body is going through physically in order to heal, as well as take the option of surgery and hysterectomies off of the table so that women can truly get to the root of their healing. Surgery does not address the root. It might take care of symptomology, but it definitely does not address the root of the problem. And so that's why it's important to address those emotions that created the disease in the first place, as well as what you're doing physically, eating, drinking, how you take care of your body is a huge factor in that. The things that we consume on a daily basis, chemicals that we take in. So I educate people around those things. I am a womb care practitioner and educator, as well as a detox specialist and a therapist.
Wonderful. So you mentioned a few challenges that women have today. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and what knowledge can you share with our young children, our girls who are starting their menstruation, they're menstruating, they're beginning their menstruation? What knowledge can you share with them on how to take care of their bodies?
So first and foremost, it starts with what we put in our mouth. So I would educate them on eating better, taking in more fruit, eating more vegetables, keeping the processed foods to a minimum, keeping the fried foods to a minimum. You know, the things they like to eat, the pizzas and things like that are not good for them, the hot fries, you know, the things that taste good but aren't good, because the reality is over time those things break down the kidneys and as well as the adrenals, and then the lymphatic system becomes congested, and those are the very things that cause the heavy bleeding, the cramping, and the things that women are dealing with, such as the fibroids, the PCOS, the endometriosis. So definitely incorporating a great diet from an early age, as well as using toxic-free feminine hygiene products. A few years ago, I had a cloth pad line, and I would always encourage moms to start their daughters off right. If you're not going to use my cloth, you don't have to. Use something that's disposable, chemical-free, toxic-free, so that we're not putting these toxins in their bodies at an early age. These things are building up, building up, building up, and then we see dis-ease. So just truly informing them on how to properly take care of their bodies, you know, through diet and what we put on our skin and what we put on our body as far as feminine hygiene products are concerned.
Okay, very good. As you know, the Six Star Company has a mission, Justice for My Jewels. What attracted you to this company and what they're doing?
Well, I was actually introduced to the CEO, Damon Crump, and the General, Charlie Watson. And when they did the presentation, I thought phenomenal, because in the back of my head, even though my pads are no longer in production, I'm loving that somebody is seeing things the way that I am as far as women's health is concerned and what people are using during their menstrual cycle. So when he did the presentation and he was about to wrap, I was like, are there any is dioxin left behind in the product after they do the sanitizing process? And he gave me a look like, who are you? Nobody's ever asked me that. And so I share with him what it is that I do and how I educate women about their womb, and I help them to heal at a deeper level. So a lot of the times when we're dealing with the heavy periods and the cramping, that's a pituitary gland issue. So truly letting him know that, you know, this is who I am, this is what I do on a daily basis, and my mission lines up with your mission. My target audience is your target audience. So I was very grateful to see that there's a group of thousands of people out here fighting for the justice for my jewel and educating women about the toxicity in the commercial products that they're using. So it was a win-win for both of us because I just felt like it was a fit. The product is actually just a tool, but it's a great tool, you know, to get that word out there, to have thousands of people teaching women that this is so important that you don't put these chemicals on your body because this is what it's causing. So to get women relief, it was just, their mission aligned with my mission, so that's what attracted me. Wonderful. We're out here saving one womb at a time together. We can't just do it individually. It's going to take a collective of us to make that happen.
So true, so true.
Absolutely.
So I have some friends who are dealing with issues of fibroids and endometriosis. Mm-hmm. Can you explain what are those issues that women are going through and what do you recommend for those women?
Absolutely. So fibroids at an all-time high is the very reason that 600,000 hysterectomies take place in the United States annually. So I would love to see us as a people lower that number because of the mission that we're moving forward in. But fibroids from an emotional perspective is nursing a hurt from a partner or a blow to the feminine ego. Okay, so we have to address that. We're in relationships, we've released husbands, but we're still holding on to them essentially. We're still nursing those hurts. And as a result, these fibroids are growing bigger and bigger in our body. In addition to the emotional part though, what are we feeding them? Are we eating dairy at an all-time high? Are we eating beef and chicken, you know, and pork, which are the highly acidic meats that cause the kidneys to be shut down, that causes the adrenal glands to go down, and eventually for us to have a stagnant lymph system. 99% of man's problems are in their lymphatic system, and that is a result of diet. So if we change the diet and we create flow of things, then we can properly heal the body. So that's what fibroids are from an emotional perspective. Then what we're feeding them makes a difference as well. So if we're eating the dairies, if we're eating the meats, those things are going to continue to allow them to grow. So we have to change our diet, and we have to address them with herbs. Herbs restore and regenerate. Herbs target and get those organs or glands that are down to be open and to function optimally. So those are the things. Endometriosis is frustration, disappointment, insecurity, not feeling as though you're enough. And so as a result of that, from that emotional perspective, when those things go unaddressed, that's how we show up in everyday life. So if you go around thinking that you're not enough, it's not that you just show up like that for your family. You're also showing up like that at your job, for your coworkers, you know, and so people treat you according to how you show up. So those are things that I work around deep diving into. Where did that come from? Who made you feel like that? You know, who made you think that you weren't enough? What did somebody say or do to you that made you feel like you didn't matter or you didn't count? So truly addressing that. From a physical perspective, endometriosis is acid, okay, in the reproductive area, just like all reproductive issues are. And so the line is growing on the outside of the uterus. It's not properly being released during a menstrual cycle. And with that acid in that area, in that womb area, when people are in debilitating pain from endometriosis, it's because the uterus is fusing to the colon. They sit on top of one another, and that's what makes it so painful. And so for me, I have to get in there. You have to change the foods that you're eating. You have to change the terrain on the inside of your body, and that's going to be based on what it is that you're eating. You have to increase your fruit intake. I know you're like, Nicole, you said fruit. You haven't said vegetables. Fruit is the highest vibrational food on the planet. Veggies can't touch that. Okay, and so it can heal diabetes. That fruit sugar is very healing. It's everything the body needs. What is the first question that people ask when you decide to come off of meat? Where are you going to get your protein? From fruit. Okay, they're amino acids. That's all proteins are, is amino acids. So it's simple amino acid, whereas meats are complex amino acids. And so when we address it from that perspective and begin to neutralize the acid in the body, soothe the body, rehydrate it from the dehydrating foods, that is how we can heal fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS, whatever it is that acid in that region is burning up. So it literally speaks to the toxicity. I'll also address heavy periods. When we have long periods, that's a pituitary gland weakness. It's a result of the lymphatic system being stagnant and things backing up. So when I'm dealing with that, I speak immediately to the toxicity. We have to address that. We have to get the toxins out. You have to detox. It's the only true way to healing the body. It's the only logical way. You know, think about an oil change. When you go for an oil change, they empty the old oil pan out before they put the new oil in, right? So we have to do the same thing for our body so that the fresh, the vital, and the new can actually take effect when it comes into the body. The Bible even says, don't put new wine in old wineskins. So we have to get rid of the waste, the toxins, if you will. We have to get the glands and the organs functioning optimally. So I do that through a regimen of how to eat, as well as an herbal protocol. So I use tinctures, I use capsules. And so those are the very things that are going to help the body heal. Food is great because it's going to neutralize the terrain in the body, but herbs are the game changer. You need them to restore and regenerate tissue that has been damaged, organs that are down, glands that are down, so that when the body is functioning optimally and all of the glandular system can begin to talk to itself, the body can do what it's created to do, which is heal itself. And so that's what I educate women around. Being your own doctor. Nobody can tell you about your body more than you. So I have a lot of clients who have gone to their doctors for endometriosis pain, and their doctor has told them that, oh, that's just phantom pain, we don't see anything. I always tell them, don't let another person tell you about your body. It's not phantom pain. You are feeling this pain. Right. And it's usually that uterus fusing to the colon. So when we begin to loosen that up, soften that up by eating more fruit, which brings hydration and soothing and all of that to begin to restore that area, they notice all of those symptoms starting to dissipate. But it's going to take the right diet, and it's going to take an herbal protocol to heal the body and restore the glands and the hormones and the things that are out of balance.
Okay. Some women go through menopause, and a lot of issues come up with menopause. What recommendations do you have for women going through menopause?
So I will say that menopause is not a natural experience. And what I mean by that is the symptoms that women think of when it comes to menopause. So the hot flashes, the night sweats, those are a result of weak adrenal glands. So if we restored the adrenal glands, women would have a different experience during menopause, and which just means that their cycle is ending, right, and that, you know, their estrogen is going to be lower and things like that as a result of no longer having a menstrual cycle. But if you take care of your body, if you address those adrenal glands and they're functioning optimally, you won't have menopause symptoms. So yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And to back up about cramps, if you want to get rid of cramps, you have to get rid of protein, okay?
Really?
Because of it being highly acidic. So when the reproductive area already has a ton of acid there, and then we're introducing this new acid there, we're putting acid on top of acid, so it's going to burn. That's what the nervous system picks up on as pain. So pain is acid. So it's very clear. You know, when a lot of women take in dairy, I always tell women around your menstrual cycle, do not consume any dairy, because that mucus and that acid will cause you to be in pain. And so pain is acid. And so in order to get rid of the pain, you have to get rid of the acid. So in order to get rid of the cramps, you have to get rid of the protein as well as the dairy.
Going back to the herbs, what are the top herbs you would recommend for women to buy or ingest or use in their foods?
So I've studied under a naturopath doctor, and the way I use herbology is I do it through tinctures. So they're synergistic blends. They're not usually individualized blends. I also create healing teas of my own, and so they're usually 5 at minimum, 10, 15 different herbs together, because synergistically they can do more than an individual herb can do on their own. But there are tons. There's tons of herbs that do different things for the body. Chasteberry or Vitex is a great one for heavy bleeding. Red raspberry leaf is great for many things. It's just an overall great healing herb for women in general. The list goes on and on. I use so many of them. Right. We would be here all day with me naming them. But there's just different ones. So I have one for moon time, which is during your menstrual cycle. It's called the moon time tea. It helps with heavy cycles. It helps with cramping. Women call it my miracle tea. They're like, oh my God, I stand on my feet all day, and I've never been able to stand behind this chair, do this job without having to be in pain, and like that's all they're focused on, and so they can get through their day. Another one of my popular teas is the Womb Healing Tea and Douche Blend. I've helped many women heal from HPV from that blend. So when we think about the human papillomavirus, they look at it as a sexually transmitted disease. But what it is squamous cells or precancerous cells trying to turn cancerous because of the acid that's changing the composition of the cell. So once I have them douche for 14 days straight at bedtime, consecutive days, and then go get a retesting of a pap smear, it always comes back all clear because they've cleaned out that vaginal cavity. And that is what the herbs do. They pull mucus, they help things to move and to turn back to normal. And so that is what is one of my #1 selling teas. You can drink it and you can douche with it. So when you drink it, it's an overall healing tea. You don't have to have HPV. You can have anything going on in your body. It slowly opens the kidneys. It moves mucus. It starts to move that lymphatic system. It brings hydration. It soothes. So I always encourage women to have 2 to 3 cups of that a day. It can change your life. It can change your life. So yeah, so there's a lot of herbs. I just use them synergistically blended because they do more. Same thing with my herbal blends that I use on the vaginal steam pot. They're always coupled with other herbs so that together they can be a powerhouse and do what they need to do to heal the body faster.
Wonderful. Love it. So thank you so much for talking to us and sharing a little bit. I know you have so much knowledge, you would like to share some more.
Absolutely.
So how can a person get in contact with you?
They can find me at www.ilovebeingfresh.com, which you can find all of my social media there. I'm also on Instagram at Womb Therapist. On Facebook, I am Nicole M. Brantley. And that's pretty much where I am. I'm between Facebook and Instagram. And then the website has everything that you would need to know, all of the services that I provide, all of the products that I provide. They are natural and chemical free. So my feminine hygiene bars, my healing teas, as far as services, vaginal steaming, ear candling, fertility massage, aroma touch. So if you want to know anything in depth about those things, my individual detox programs, my group detox programs, all of that information is out on the website. Again, it's www.ilovebeingfresh.com. You can always feel free to book complimentary consultations under our consultation tab, and we can address what it is that you have going on, and I'll tell you my next steps and recommendations for you based off of what it is that you are experiencing. But those are the places that you can find me. You can email me straight from my website, or you can email me at info@ilovebeingfresh.com. Thanks so much for having me. I truly appreciate people that are in alignment with my mission, because together we can change the world. One womb at a time, one woman at a time. And when women come together and we're as powerful as we are and we operate in this power, we can change a nation. So it's so important, the work that we're all doing. So I'm grateful for you all as well.
I'm grateful for knowing you, and I hope to
Thank you, Shari.
Get to know you better.
Yes, thank you, Shari. I appreciate it.